How's it going, everybody? How's everyone's week been? Amazing, I hope. Everyone getting ready for Christmas? We have a Christmas event that we're going to, family event later today as well. So, yeah. What's up, Joseph Smith? What's up, Albert? Edward? How's everybody doing? Welcome, everybody, to the live afternoon swing trading room. We're broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Matt DeLong, and I will be your afternoon host for DeLong Fridays. Today is what? Friday, December 11th. So 14 more days till Christmas. 14. 2 weeks. So that also means, I guess Christmas is actually on a Friday. Is that right? I think so. Yes, it is. Exactly. Yep. That's what I thought. Yep. So I want to mention a couple events to you guys before we jump off, before we get started. And so tonight is the very last session of the Trader Psychology Live. How many of you guys have enjoyed that so far? We've done 4. Jeremy's done 4 classes. Got one more tonight. Type something into the chat pane if you we'll just say just type RLT in the chat pane. Type the letter RLT if you have gotten something worthwhile out of the free Trader Psychology class. All right, yep. Nice. A lot of stuff to unpack there. What do you guys think of Anil and Svetlana? They're both, I've had one-on-ones with them, both of them several times. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. Cool. So that's the first event that's going on tonight, about an hour, 30 minutes after we finish here today. And then our second event I want you guys to make sure you're signed up for is an all-day event tomorrow. This is our first annual Trader Summit. So you'll recognize all of these faces: Ricky, Kadan, Jeremy, myself, Johnny, Robert Falco, Stephen King, Arabia Johnson, Tracy Ball, David Potvin, Dan Jansen, and Tony Pollack. So this is we're bringing out our A game here, ladies and gentlemen. You'll definitely want to be there. And then also a couple people ask, hey, I can't be there. Just to clarify, it's $9.97, and we give you the playlist if you want the recordings, right? So if you want the recordings, we're not really planning to sell these after, but I guess we could for some period of time if anyone's interested in buying the recordings afterwards. After each session, we will be uploading each person's discussion to a YouTube playlist, and then that's kind of what you'll have on your dashboard is a link to that playlist, and we'll be adding to it usually within 20-30 minutes at the end of each session. So how many of you guys are signed up for this? How many of you guys didn't know that? Go ahead and sign up for that if you haven't yet. It's for the most part a free event. If you want the recordings, there's a small fee for that, but 8 hours of nonstop trading education. And Jeremy will be kind of overseeing the event. I'm going to help out from time to time, depending on internet service on the island, where he is currently in the British Virgin Islands. It should be amazing. Joseph, it starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow Eastern, so that's 8 a.m. Central. I don't even know what that is Pacific. I always get my time zones mixed up, but yes, so if you have not signed up, let's see. I have icons on my dashboard for this. So yeah, it would look like this if you pay for the recordings, and then this is the actual live event, the live Zoom, and these are recordings. So whatever you purchase here, of course, this will stay here forever. And then this link will go away after then the day tomorrow because it's like a one-time event. So that is what I have for you. I want to ask you guys an interesting question. I'm doing some numbers, and I wanted to ask you, if you were to take any size account, let's say a $10,000 account, what percent return would you need every year to 10x your account? $10,000 or 100,000 or X number of dollars, what insert account value here, right? What percent return would you need I'm sorry, great question. In how many years? Sorry, I left that detail out. In 5 years. So we're talking about 5 years. So we're talking about 2025 from right now, right? How do you take 10,000, turn it into 100,000, or 100,000 turn it into a million? What percent return? Somebody, yeah, and Edward is sending out the link if you have not RSVP'd. We were talking about the Trader Summit just a second ago. This is an all-day event tomorrow, all day. Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, 10%. Nope, not 7 years, and it's not 2x your investment. It's what percent for 10x in 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe? Let me double check this before I tell you. I have this over here in another spreadsheet. Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe? Let me see if I can link this over here on my screen. Would you believe 58.5%? 58.5%. So if you start with 100,000, if you started with 10,000, whatever it is, it will 10x 58%. Now keep in mind that is compounding. Do you guys think that that's like a reasonable, within reach kind of number, 58.5%? I know some of us have doubled and tripled our accounts this year, right? So that's a compounded number, right? So 10,000 compounded, 58% gives you this plus your original balance, right? And it just rolls through compounds. Now, 58.5%, yes, it does not take into account taxes, but assume this is even a retirement account where you obviously pay taxes when you pull the money out. It's still a pretty interesting number. I always thought it was a much bigger number than the 58%. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? 58.5% is our answer. So if we were to plug it in here, 10x your account in 5 years, 58% a year is all you need. Isn't that amazing? That's the eighth wonder of the world, right? Compounding interest, eighth wonder of the world. How many of you guys thought it was a much bigger number? Yep. Cool. All right, let's talk about the overall market. So last week we talked about our distribution days and in through here. And I said if we were to get a little bit of a sideways movement, then we will roll, all these will roll off. We'll have 3 or 4. And you see what happened. We had one this week, which added back to our list. So we're still sitting at 5 distribution days, but it's just kind of like an overall caution. Obviously at all-time highs, we gapped up, I guess on Wednesday was the all-time high like ever. So I'm not going to be adding tons and tons and tons of positions at all-time highs, especially put options. Jeremy and I both have kind of the same school of thought where we might chop around a little bit, go lower, maybe take one last pinch lower and then continue higher. Maybe we'll bounce off the 100 simple moving average on the daily chart, but that's what it looks like right now on SPY. And if we were to look at the Qs, similar kind of thing, where we have 4 distribution days. One came in on Wednesday, just like on SPY. Again, I'm cautiously bullish. I do have open positions. I'm not looking for massive amounts of open positions. I'm playing it very, very light right now. That is just my take, playing it light. Now, I may regret that if things rocket and go higher. I may regret that. There is a Santa Claus rally, which some of you may be familiar with. Santa Claus rally is where it's the time between Christmas and New Year's where things tend to rally. That's not always the case, but that's kind of the rule of thumb. Yep. So I do have some exposure out there, but I'm not looking to full margin anything right now. I'm super, super light. So that is what I have on the Qs. Next, let's take a look at one of my favorites, NVIDIA. Does anyone have any positions currently on NVIDIA? So if I was to look at it using my naked put, again, I would be looking for some kind of pullbacks like these. And I'm going to be looking for like a 430, 440, 450 strike price to sell put options against, going out either 1 or 2 or 3 months, something like that. That's what it looks like currently, and that's what it's set up for currently. If I was to look at it on a medium term time frame, you'll see that we got a signal to enter here on, I guess it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago on NVIDIA. Now, if we were to look at it on Momo through the Momo lens, I think we're in a little bit of a downturn. Yep. So in a little bit of a downturn. So for Momo, the play, which I usually short these companies unless the only way I'll play short on some of these swing trades is I will buy put option, right? So here on Momo, it tells us to buy some puts right here at this level. And ideally, you guys see it kind of bounced off this level previously. You see that? So if we're able to, maybe Monday, Tuesday, if our moving averages are to switch, we'll get a nice up arrow and we will get a bullish signal to jump in and go higher. So it is chopping around. So you have to be careful with Momo on these chop city. I know when they're chopping and consolidating. I'm going to look at where my Project X account is on Momo. So let's see. I don't think I have NVIDIA in here. No, I don't. Okay. Okay. So this is my Project X paper account for something we're testing. You'll see that using Momo, just the Momo strategy by itself, it's up $2,300 since I started this paper trading account. Is doing nothing but Momo on my 15 stocks. So here you'll see we had a nice gain in Mongo database. I know Tesla flipped the switch today from Momo from bullish to bearish. So if only I had gotten in at that moment when I should have, but you know, it is what it is. We can't play, everything can't be in everything. And so Momo gave the signal today to, hey, start a short position here at this line. If you're in bullish, go ahead and exit. And that's where we're on Momo for Tesla. If we were to look at Tesla on our using our 10 EMA, you'll see the trigger to get in was here back a couple weeks ago. So this nice gap up and continue higher. It never did fully retest this gap area right here. So Tesla is an RLT favorite, as you guys know. And it's be bullish. Elon Musk, be bullish, right? And I'll be looking for some kind of a, if you guys are interested in selling put options, you're going to be looking for the price to move down in between these levels, in between the blue line and the green line. And we would be looking for our dollar sign that lets us know to check the premium. And then we would be selling put options here or lower, right? Put options are lower. So we're talking about the 485 level for selling put options on Tesla. Now, Tesla has not pulled back a whole lot in the past month or so. So there wasn't been any really good signals. You did get it a little bit right through here, but Tesla's been, I mean, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, it's so bullish. Look at that. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. Be bullish. I don't know why I even want to short this. There's a few people that mentioned that have been short Tesla for like 5 years. Robert, I'm not sure who, I saw that in chat the other day. But anyways, lots and lots of people who are bullish very much on Tesla. And if you haven't had a chance to drive a Tesla, it is the most innovative product I've probably ever had, touched, been in, sat in. It's pretty amazing. If you haven't had a chance, schedule something, go test drive a Tesla. It's been amazing. Yep. And that's what I have on Tesla. Next is Shopify. How many of you guys have made some money on Shopify this year? Put some dollar signs in the chat panel. So Edward, when am I getting a Tesla? I'm very much eyeing one. Just don't tell Santa. I'm very tempted. I'm very, very tempted, but I've been saying that for like 2 years now. So yeah. Yep. I don't know. I have this thing about buying new cars. I prefer not to buy brand new. But then it's like I'm buying a used car and you're spending 50,000 for a used car. I don't know. I'll warm up to the idea a little bit more here at some point, but yeah. Sounds like fear, Matt. No, it's not fear. I'm not afraid of it. It's just like my whole family grew up with like the Dave Ramsey teaching of never buy a brand new car ever, because it, driving it off the lot, you take a big depreciation hit. So it's not fear. It's just, like some deep rooted beliefs. So I'll wisen up to it. Yeah. Yeah. And I do typically pay cash for cars. So yeah, that's just a personal thing. So Shopify, if you guys got some good signals back here early November to sell put options, we're looking at maybe the 850. I do have open orders on Shopify for 850. Let's see, I put those in last week. It's not triggered to actually buy shares as it pulls back. I'm trying to build a pyramid on Shopify, but everything's been so bullish, it's really tough to do that. So that's Shopify on the long term. Let's look at the medium term. Got a signal yesterday rather, to enter up here. I'm gonna hold off on that. And then Momo, Shopify got a little bit of a short signal to enter here, enter short here, or slash short the shares or buy puts, whatever you fancy. But you guys could easily see here that Shopify made a really nice run from November 18th up till the 9th. So up till Wednesday, 2 days ago, right? You see that? So even if you had, I know, $5,000 account or $10,000 account, and you put a little piece of that into options, actually the Shopify options are a little more expensive, but even if you put 2,000-3,000 into Shopify options on this day, you had a really nice run. So could have really done well with Shopify. Shopify is that one stock that if I look back over all my accounts and different things over my trading career, it's probably the one stock I've made more money on Shopify than any other trades like combined, right? If you have that one ticker, Jeremy just loves AMD, but Shopify is mine. It's the one I've made more on than anything else. So that's Shopify. Next up is Fastly. How many of you guys are bullish on Fastly? I'm very bullish. We got our signal on Momo to enter here on the 3rd, December 3rd. So last Thursday, right? How many of you guys are in still Fastly Momo? A couple, yep. So Fastly, I believe, is in my, yep. So right here, Fastly, and it's up $702. And so what I have set up here is my Momo is set up in a paper trading account, and I'm allocating $5,000 spend, not risk, $5,000 spend. So I'm buying $5,000 worth of stock when Momo triggers, and that's kind of what we're looking at here. And you'll see that this week it triggered some exit. We locked in some gains, took a few. We're still in quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8. So there are people, Jonathan, I believe you're trading live now in Project X, but I believe you're using, what are you using? You're using Robinhood. Yep. Got it. Yep. So ladies and gentlemen, pretty interesting tool. If you want to connect your TradingView alerts where you have an alert to a tool. So there's a webhook right here. So basically it says, hey, you can alert and get an alert on your phone. You can get a text message. There's different ways you can send an email, or a webhook is, think of it like an electronic signal, and it pushes data to this tool that Jonathan Wage built called Project X that can receive those alerts and actually place trades and connect it to your brokerage account. So pretty interesting. I'm running it, some tests on it live right now. I'm sorry, I'm running tests now on a paper trading account. I'm not yet switched to a live account, but I will be doing that shortly. So that is Fastly. I think it's an amazing company. I will remind me to tell you about my 5-year time capsule project that I launched back in Monday. Fastly is one of my 5. So ladies and gentlemen, if you can imagine picking 5 stocks, just 5, and you allocate the same dollar amount, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, X number in each one, and then don't look, you can look at it, but don't make any trades. Just leave that alone for 5 years, right? We have the 7-day ice cube challenge. Imagine 5 years, right? You don't touch it for 5 years, right? You take the password, put it in a tube, bury it in the backyard, whatever you need to do. And it's Fastly is one of the ones that I would very much, or one of the ones that I picked that is on that list. So Fastly has gone from 21 up to what, 90s. So it's already done a good 4.5x for, right? The question is, what are those companies like the Googles, right? The Googles, where it was years and years ago, right? So the question is, what are those companies that were in, let's see, 2015 would be right here. So going back 5 years, companies that had this kind of a run up to this point, you bought in and then held it for 5 years, and you didn't look at it. You didn't micromanage it. You didn't tighten any stops. You just left it alone, buried it in the backyard, and then you uncovered it. And I'm curious to see what would happen. Obviously, buy and hold works, but only if you buy the right kinds of companies, the right company. There's lots of companies, especially retail, that got hit really hard this year because of COVID. But lots of technology, cloud companies are just rocketing higher. So that's kind of the idea, is imagine finding companies like that who have been around a little bit and who have not yet made their massive move, right? So that's the idea. In this case, Google has done what, a little over 3x, kind of 500 up to 1,700 and change in a 5-year period. Obviously, not bad compared to the overall market. And if you were to scroll back even more, it's made even a bigger run. Actually, remember when Google came out and thought, oh, one of these days I'll open a brokerage account and put some money in Google, and then it was years before I got around to it. So, we all do those things. So, anyways, that's kind of the thought on Fastly. This is in my my time capsule. Any questions about that? Yeah, losing the TikTok contract yeah, of course. But the question is, so it's one customer. Yes, it's a big piece of the revenue. How long do you think it'd take to replace that customer? I mean, the question is, going into, if you guys think about it right now, what are the companies that are innovative now, right? Like the Googles and all that, they've been innovative. They've been around for years and years. What are the newer, younger companies that are innovating now that might have a 10, 20x run, right? Who are those companies? What are they doing? And is their leadership team actually encouraging innovation? I was actually meeting with some small businesses here, and I mean, there's a lot of small businesses struggling. And if you can imagine being in meetings where you hear people, Jonathan, I know you've probably heard this before, is hear people say, oh, we've always done it like this. When you hear that is not innovation. That is like the opposite of innovation. We've always done it like this in the past. And you wonder, like, how it's like the person today, or the company today, can't be the company for the next year, right? You have to improve and adapt. And it's crazy. It's been a crazy year. So the other thing I wanted to mention is, you guys know that Real Life Trading spends a lot of time building content and courses. And I don't know if you guys ever thought about this, but a lot of people teach like the screen, right? Like we do this as well. We teach candle patterns, sentiment, all that, right? Strategies. Every trading stock company does variations of that, right? You guys, we can all agree. But who is the person, me as the person, who is the person stepping to the screen, right? Who is that person who's like, what's going in my head? That's one of the reasons we have trading psychology classes, which it's been very, very helpful. We've got a lot of good feedback so far on that. And then, who's the person that's stepping to the screen, like the mindset, right? We're talking about the way you think, right? All of those things are trying to improve the person that you are. And a lot of times when it comes to being successful in the stock market, it's not always about placing trades, right? You sometimes have to become a different person along the way. Does that make sense? So you become this different person. We teach you obviously strategies, but we also help you improve like like Matt version 2.0, right, compared to 5 years ago, right? And then 5 years from now will be version 3.0 or 3.1 or whatever version, software version, right? Whatever mental upgrade I have to do between now and there, and you become a totally different person on that journey. So stick with me, Jenny. I'm going to share my other 4 companies here in just a moment. Okay, next, Jenny, you paying attention? This is number 2, Roku. Roku is one of my big time, all time favorites. So this had a pretty significant run as well. If you were to go back, let's see when they IPO'd. So it's already had from 20 to 320. It's had a pretty nice run. All of these, and I'll show you, let's see, here's the portfolio of them. If you guys just want to take a screenshot of all of them: Pinterest, Fastly, Mongo, Roku, and CrowdStrike. So put $100,000 in, 20,000 each one, and it's already up 9.5%. Yep. So this is my December time capsule project. So December 2025, we'll see what number I have here, what number total I have. Some of these may be, Mongo, Roku, some of these may be bought out, may be acquired at some point. We'll see what happens in the future, but that is, that's kind of the idea of the time capsules. Anyone have any questions? Is Roku the next Tesla? I'm not sure what you mean by the next Tesla. Obviously, very different. You just mean like a massive bullish run? There's going to be a bunch of those, I think. Yeah, as long as the Feds continue to print money, we have unlimited spending powers, and we're artificially pushing things higher. So, yeah. What do I see as the next generation of innovations? Great question. Great question. We actually, I'll pull the list here in just a second, but Jeremy and I actually, we did a advanced class where we talk about that in depth for like a good hour and a half. I'll go over that list here in just a second. But next on Matt's list is Mongo. Jonathan Wage, I know you're familiar with Mongo, correct? I saw a statistic the other day that there's more Mongo developer demand than there are actual Mongo developers. Have you experienced that, Jonathan? Mongo database. Yep. Yep. So Mongo's had a decent run as well. So back in the 28s to, it's already had a good probably 10x run. If we're to go, I think this is going to continue, especially this supply and demand for developers relative to actual software continues. I think it'll be another good run. Let me check something here on my phone. Let's see. All righty. There we go. All righty. There we go. Okay. Amazon has plenty of products rivaling MongoDB. Yes, they do. They have. There's quite a few database companies. I'm not. So there. Geez, there's been a lot of database. Like MySQL is probably one of the first database tools I ever used. There's Postgres, SQL. There's a lot of those, but migrating towards the NoSQL. Yep. Pretty interesting, interesting companies, lots of options out there. Amazon does have their own products with, I'm trying to think what some of their, they obviously have platforms for a lot of these database tools themselves, but I believe they have their own, don't they have their own database branded? I'm trying to think what the AWS product is, but let's take a look. Document DB, is that what it's called? Okay. Dynamo DB. Got it. Yep. Okay. So Mongo, if any of you got in here on the trigger back here on November 17th, so a good month, 3 weeks ago. Congratulations, you made quite the run. If we're looking at it on Momo, time to get in would have been last week. Made a nice run. If you look at my portfolio here, Mongo right here, up a little bit, right? And you'll see here how it worked. We're 18 shares. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. 18 shares at 276.91. So right, I'm spending $5,000 rounded, right? Spending $5,000, 340, and it's up nicely, right? But I bought 270, bought in at 276. It's now 340. So I think everyone's running to fill up their portfolios with Matt's top 5 pick. I think that's what I think that's what's happening here. So if we were to look at it on a long term, man, I don't know. Look at it. It's rocketing higher. A lot of these cloud based companies. Yeah. When did I start my paper account? I don't even know, Jonathan. Is there a way? It's been a couple of weeks. Is there a way to tell what my date was? I'm not even sure. Click order history. Where's my order history? Where's my order history, Jonathan? Where do I click on? Trading logs. I don't see order history. I would click on it if I see it. Down into the, what? Down into the right. Oh, this button that says order history, that one. Okay. Let's go back to, I think I started it in, see if I can pick. I think I started sometime in November. Let's just see. Let's see what it finds. I don't know. So it's going backwards. So the 21st, November 21st. It looks like it was the first order was placed on November 21st. So that's the answer. Yep. I changed the date to November 1st. Oh, to see if it goes further back. Yeah, 21st still. Yeah. Yep. 21st. Yep. So Cal, it is, I have my settings set up, my settings set. Let's see. I'm subscribing to my Momo and I'm saying long only, and then I have my 15 tickers checked and I have it auto submit. So it's automatically firing off orders. If you do not have this checked, it'll fire off an email to you and you have to manually approve it. Obviously time sensitive there, right? So just think about it. If you want to auto submit it, and I just have my, oops, showing my real account numbers in there, sorry. And so that's kind of what I have set up on, and it's going well. Just kind of proving the point about trying to just let things run, let strategies run. Like we can easily just try to micromanage any kind of strategy, right? And then I feel like when we do that, we exert probably 5 times the amount of energy than normal, and we might make just barely better or maybe sometimes worse returns. We try to micromanage every little move, and we try to day trade our swing trades and tighten up stops and get kicked out of a trade, take a small loss when it could have been this big runner. But you just got to let the strategies play out. That's kind of the thing, I think. Beyond me, Pinterest is my next stock. That's it. Right here, Pinterest, Fastly, Mongo, Roku, and CrowdStrike, and I purchased them at the close on Monday. So, yep. Again, December 2025 time capsule. Put these 5 stocks, bury them. If you guys haven't done that yet, you don't necessarily have to use these same closing prices that I got. Obviously, it's made a 9.54% run. I think on day 2 or 3, the whole thing was red. So I can certainly look at it. I'm not going to place any trades. I'm not going to change anything. Obviously, have like a view of it here, but I'm just going to leave it alone and watch it and eyeball it and see if I can manually, with a similar amount of money, see if I can manually do better than what it does on these 5 stocks. So you guys see what I'm kind of like split testing it in a way, like I'm going to do this challenge and I'm going to compare it in a few years to 5 years to what I'm just doing manually. See what happens. See if, which one works better over time. It may or may not be the best side-by-side comparison, right? Because this is just a buy and hold. And my manual stuff has a mix of strategies from selling put options and Momo and all kinds of pyramiding and collaring and all kinds of stuff. So, yep. So Pinterest is one of my 5. Pinterest, you'll see it does tend to tease you a little bit, where it kicks you out for a short period of time, then continues higher. So that's interesting. Congratulations to everyone who got in way back here when I think this was around the time when I first mentioned this strategy in an afternoon room class just like this. So congratulations on those of you who got in early. Some of you may even be holding it longer term. I don't know, but Pinterest is very bullish. I mean, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Pinterest and you think Pinterest is just like every other social media, I will tell you it is not correct. Pinterest is very, very visual, very e-commerce oriented. And it is, I think the statistic is like 72% female use Pinterest. So I have 2 teenage daughters, and guess how they deliver the Christmas wish list to yours truly? Pinterest. Can you believe that? Pinterest. Yep. So Danny, you don't like Pinterest. What? I think it's amazing. So Pinterest as the you don't like the product or the stock, Danny? It's okay. Yeah. And you can be different to find the actual webpage that you want to find something. In my opinion, you don't like the product. Okay. Well, again, it's heavily the demographics are mostly females, which makes sense for why my teenage daughters do stuff on there all the time. But it's heavily connected to commerce in a very different. I feel it's a very different way than like Facebook or even Twitter, right? Like the way they facilitate buying things, and then with a female heavy demographics. I mean, somebody's credit cards are going to get just destroyed, right? Lots and lots of shopping being facilitated, right? Yep. Okay. Yep. Your sister loved it. Yep. Okay. Let's see. I missed a question. AYXMO is not on my list. Yeah. Justin, Project X actually runs my actual strategy. So this is what happens when brilliant minds put their heads together. Is you can subscribe to the actual strategy itself, which is the Momo 78-minute swing trading. And so this receives the webhook signals in the background for whatever the alerts are, and it uses my 15 list, and that's what we're looking at. Yep. So, I know a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to algo trading and looking at code and doing all this stuff, and especially like Sierra charts, right? There's some basic templates you can use, but when you get into code, a lot of people are intimidated. But I mean, this is a no code way to do things, right? It's like, obviously, if you want to build your own strategy, that's kind of, you need to get into some code somehow or some kind of a template. But here it's a pretty simple way to grow your account, to throw some money in. So if we were to, let me think about this for a minute. If we were to take 15 stocks, put 5,000 in, that's only $75,000. So if I was to go full margin, it's only 37,500, right? You guys understand? 37,500 would allow me my 15 tickers times 5,000. And that's obviously assuming I'm using an actual trading margin account, not a retirement account where I can use 100% margin. So most brokers offer a 2-to-1 overnight. Day trading usually is typically 4-to-1, but in this case, where these are swing trades, multiple days, weeks, or longer. So, yep, that's what I have on Pinterest. Look at that. There's little to no pullbacks for put option sales, little to none. And then look at these stocks. Like it went from $10 to 70 just in what time frame is this? It's like what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, 8.5 months. Geez, 700% return in 8 months. Yes, please. Now you guys remember we were talking about at the beginning of this, 58.5% equals 10x in 5 years. Now, beautiful compounding interest. There you go. There's your almost 10x in 8 months. That's your 7x in obviously, I don't recommend you put all your money in one specific stock, but just as an example. Okay, next, let's move over to what's next? Twilio. So Twilio is one that's on my 15 list. Again, this is like a perfect look at signal sell put option at the 250 level. Again, we're kind of actually we did close today all-time highs on Twilio. So lots of these stocks are pushing higher. Don't be that guy who chases the racquetball higher. Wait for the pullback. I promise you, it will pull back at some point. It always does. Stock market is open again on Monday. Don't chase it higher. That's what noobs do. And I've lost more money chasing things higher than I care to admit. Because we want like confirmation that it's going higher. And once it goes higher, then it's already made a big move. And then we get in, then it pulls back, and then we get out, and then we take a loss, then it rockets higher. We've all, right? You guys know that replays over and over every day in the markets. Branding people chasing things higher, pushing the price higher, no one else to buy it. It pulls back, and the noobs get irked, lose some money, and those of us who are patient are sitting there waiting for our opportunity. So Twilio had this nice pop. See that? This was yesterday. Got an alert, and I believe Twilio is in my list as well. Yep. So only got 15 shares on Twilio. Let's see, when did that? So that was on the 10th. Yep, exactly. Perfect. So that is Twilio on the medium term moving averages. You got some signals to get in. Obviously here kind of consolidating through this middle October, middle November for about a month, kind of pulling back, chopping a little bit, and then usually rests before it goes higher. So what happens? So Teladoc, definitely chopping. How many of you guys are in Teladoc? Let's see. So it's interesting because we made all kinds of crazy wild moves, made a new low, bounced out of that. I don't think I have any positions on it here. Do I? Teladoc? Yo, I do. Yeah, I'm up $15, ladies and gentlemen. I can buy myself McDonald's. And I think that I've been in there. Okay, just 2 days ago. Yeah, that makes sense. So on Momo, I got the signal here. Yep. Right at the end of the day. So some of these, like if we were to look at our strategy tester on Teladoc, and let me flip that on real quick, and let's turn this guy off real quick. Have you guys seen the strategy tester? So it actually looks at, actually places trades in like on the screen and does like an actual like legit back test. So if I was to go in here and let me configure my dates, let's just say this year, 2020. So the January 1st, 2020 through here, let's look at our performance summary. So if I was to max drawdown, yeah, so this is just saying, it's telling me that if we were to do a comparison or buy and hold return, it's been up 108% year to date. Whereas if we, oh, I see what happened. So our long and short. So we played both directions. We would have been down a little bit. But if we said, hey, I only want to go long, still buy and hold would have definitely beat, right? Compared to a 33% return here. So, and obviously if you're using options, you have a different risk profile if you're, depending on how far out, how much time you buy for your options. But I do like to look at this to see which stocks over different time periods. It does, Momo works better on some stocks than others, but this gives you like a mathematical way to look and test. There's all kinds of options built in here if you want to, if you want to take profits or set stop loss on, as far as a percentage, you can certainly do that. And then run your test. It literally only takes a moment, as you saw, and then does these nice graphs that shows like the buy and hold number here, this gray line, oops, yeah, the gray line, and then the equity curve of Momo. So, yeah, that is the strategy tester. For it's running currently. We're running it against Teladoc. So next is Datadog. Again, lots of chop. Bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, right? You guys see that's the chop. That's kind of the downside of Momo. That's the Achilles heel. We're going to look at it here. Gave us a signal to get in at the close of yesterday. How many of you guys got into Datadog? How many guys are in Datadog? It's an RLT favorite as well. Yeah. Yep. Good handful of people. Chris D, when it comes to Momo, I do not add to my position. No. No. Yep. Out and out in. And obviously it makes it a lot easier when you have automation that places trades for you. Actually, I'm actually taking a class, Svetlana, Jeremy's now fiance. Congratulations, Jeremy and Svetlana. She has a class on dreaming. And I don't know if you guys have ever thought about how good you are at dreaming. I'm not talking about like, counting sheep as you sleep. I'm talking about like what your goals, what you want to accomplish in life. And it's been a very interesting session class. There's about 6 of us going through class. Monday is the last session. It's been, yeah, Christian, yes. And so imagine like writing out what your goals are, like in life, what you want to do, what your dreams are. And for most of us, that's kind of hard because everyone had dreams when you're little, and reality sets in, and you're a big boy or big girl, and you have bills and things and life and kids, and things get in the way and sometimes disrupt your dreams, right? But imagine writing out bullet points, and this isn't necessarily a commercial, but I highly recommend it. Imagine writing out your bullet points over your dreams, right? It's in bullet point format. And then maybe the next class you elaborate on that, right? And you're taking it from a bullet point to more of a paragraph, right? And then the next class you're thinking about, what are my limiting beliefs? Like, what are my fears? What are my, how can I reshape the dream a little bit so that it's definitely like a doable thing? Yes, it might be way out there, but it's definitely like within reach, you know what I mean? As far as your dream. And then the next session, you're literally like visualizing you in that state where you've actually accomplished your dreams, right? And you're describing all this. If we have time, I'll read you a couple of my dreams. Just it's a little personal, but I'll read you some of this. And then imagine after that, you're saying, okay, what are the 3 steps that I can take towards each of these dreams? Now, how awesome and amazing is something like that than just saying, oh, when I was younger, I wanted to do this. One of my things, I want to get my helicopter pilot's license, and I want to fly over the most beautiful places on earth with friends and family, right? I want to like fly over the 7 wonders of the world, right? I have certain steps I have to do to even get certified, and then to rent a helicopter, and then, right? So there's things that kind of are put in motion that make you kind of work towards those dreams, those goals, right? And of course, anything could happen, but it's been amazing. I told the group last week, when I turned on my dream spigot, like out came sand, right? If you can imagine a water faucet and you turn on and sand comes out. It's like I wasn't very good, but now it's like my gears are turning and I'm kind of getting it, and it's been amazing. So highly recommend for anyone who hasn't done that yet. She's amazing. She's got some very interesting perspective, and you can definitely learn a lot. So worst case scenario, you take a class and you learn some stuff that could help you in the future, right? That's like worst case scenario. So amazing. Sorry for the little sidebar there, but I highly recommend that. Okay. First you have to get your fixed wing license. I don't think so for helicopter. Rotor, yeah, right. I didn't think you did, yeah. I did take a couple lessons. I mean, it's been probably 10, 12 years ago when my kids were little bitty. Now they're headed off to one's headed off to college and one's in college. So it's been a few years since they were little bitty kids. Okay, moving along. Datadog. You guys see some of the signals here for selling put option. Again, we have this kind of 85 level strike price that you can sell options going out 1 month for 1%, 2 months for 2%. So that is Datadog on the longer terms. Medium term, again, we got triggered in here, and then we're chopping around through here, but you can still lock in some decent gains, right? So you get in here, you exit here, right, there's a little bit of a decent movement there to lock in gains. And the other thing that's interesting about Datadog is I can close any of the, I'm sorry, not Datadog. The interesting thing about Project X is I can close any of these like manually, right? So I can close a trade whenever I want. So I can just go ahead and exit, take in a profit, whatever. So lock in my gains, my gainage. So yep. So that is Project X. Let's go back into my list. Let me remove my indicator, my drawings. Okay, next is Peloton. How many guys have asked Santa for a Peloton? I have. We'll see what Santa comes up with for a Peloton for Matt. Again, some decent signals here to get in, to be bullish, to get in at our last two signals. On the 10 EMA strategy, if we're looking at selling put options, you'll see that it worked really nicely where you got the signals, sell at here or lower, right? You guys see that? You understand where, sell at the $100 strike or lower, as long as you get the correct amount of premium and you're waiting for your signals, which is a 4.5% pullback intraday. So compared to the previous close. And again, you want to be below the blue line here, which just means it's 10% off of its all-time highs. You want fear and drama to be at all time, to be, elevated in order to get a decent amount of option premium that you're selling. And when you're selling put options, you want to sell high, buy back low. Just the opposite of buying. It's just like shorting. You're shorting a short put, right? You're shorting a put, which is like a double negative for your long, you're bullish. So you're waiting to take advantage of other people's being overly emotional and doing dumb things, right? So our signal here, boom, for Peloton, and look at that, it happened on the same day, again, December 10th. So there's something to this, right? You have the double signal, two different strategies on the same day. You know what? I make this official trade. So, and assuming it doesn't gap up, we should be able to get filled on this. Limit buy, stop market. Let's see, 117. 117.31. Let's add it to my list. Piton. Now, for those of you who are wondering what in the world I'm doing here, we got the signal back yesterday, right? And the trade is currently down a little bit. Actually, I apologize. Let's make this stop market. Yeah, stop market. Stop limit buy. So we're going to wait for the stock price to get back up to that level. Boom, we would be in 1731 by 107.46. And the idea here is it kind of triggered us 2 days ago and it moved a little bit lower. We're going to wait to get back to where our level is, so we kind of like have a second chance to get in, right? So that's our trade. I'm setting it up over here in the other monitor. One moment. 12/11/2020. I guess it would be the 14th, wouldn't it? For Monday. Yep. We'll do shares, and this is the 10 EMA strategy. Order is active, so I will set that up. Okay. Now, the reason I chose that and I combined both of these, the 10 EMA and the Momo strategy together to kind of form this. Does anyone have any questions about that? Is there an indicator for put, sale, share? Yes, there is. There absolutely is. That was kind of what we were looking at before. Can someone grab the link to that for the version 2, but it's called the Naked Put Growth version 2. And you'll see the lines show up here. It's the dollar signs and the green line, the shaded area, and the blue line. Those are all like mathematically computed. Yep. Does anyone have the link to that on TradingView? They can post. If not, I'll get that in just a second. Almost done. AYX still below our 200 simple moving average, below our long-term moving average, our long-term support. And so I have shares in this long-term. I am not adding, I'm not selling any more put options because I'm below the 200. Yep. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Cal. When you get into a stock on the green trial and you're selling a trade, when you get another green trial, do you add? No, I do not. But if I missed it, let's say I have, let's say I'm just maxed out on my maximum number of trades. And let's say that I did not, let's say I missed this because let's say I'm maxed out, but I've closed some cents. I can obviously get a second chance to get in, but I do not combine. I do not add to a position. You certainly could. I've never really tested that. I like to have exposure, and doubling up the exposure on one thing certainly has its advantages and disadvantages. If it moves in your favor, then great. If it moves against you, you know, there's that kind of a double, like a 2R loss, right? So, yep, don't do that. AYX, again, not terribly thrilled with this. I think I'm still down on this quite a bit, a few $1,000s, which is fine, but I'm going to hold this long term. And you'll see that it definitely chops. You'll see where it makes new highs, and then it kind of like almost takes out recent lows. Then it makes new highs again. You guys see it's very much chopping around. But AYX is like a artificial intelligence market analytics kind of platform. So that is AYX, and I'm not currently in anything except just the shares on this long term. So. And I will not be doing anything else with that. So next is Elastic. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this Momo. Look at that. Nice little connection. Boom. Signal in. And I don't think I have Elastic in mind. Why don't I have Elastic? Oh, I think I make sure I double check my list. I think I have it in here. ESTC. Okay, so it's checked now. Maybe it wasn't checked before, but Elastic, that would have been a good one. Look at that run, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Momo paying some R's, right? You see that? And look, it almost crisscrossed, but it didn't. Again, the strategy calls for the close of the candle. How many of you guys would have taken your profits? If you follow the strategy, could have made some more R's. So the idea with some of this stuff is to put less hours in and just let it work, right? You can, again, micromanage trades and do all kinds of things to try to eke out a little bit more profit, but I don't want to put 5 times the amount of effort and my time into something to eke out a little extra, partial R here and there. I'd rather just have the free time and, not have that little tiny partial R gain. So that is Elastic. And let's look at on our medium term. Yep, nothing. Again, for our medium term 10 EMA, we're looking for a close below and then yesterday, and then close above. So at a minimum on Elastic Mail, if on Monday it closes below, on Tuesday it would close above. Our trigger would be on that second day on day 2. So we're at least Tuesday away on this one. So that is Elastic Mail. If we look at it on our long-term moving averages with our put options, had some nice premium. This probably would not have taken that, but some nice options nice opportunities, I should say, to sell put option premium. Again, at these levels, it was at the 94.95. Now I'd be looking at the 110 put option. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever amount of months out. I like to stagger my put option premium, so I don't want it all to expire in January. I don't want it to all expire in February. I want to space them out, stagger them, so it's literally not possible for them all to be put to me immediately, right? So kind of has a little bit of like a safety valve built into that. So CrowdStrike, the last one. CrowdStrike, this is a amazing stock. Look at this. I mean, this follows up the put option strategy almost flawlessly. Look at that. So we're saying it's not going to, if it does go below the green line, that is, if it does, it's not going to stay below for long. And so selling put option premium here at the 115. Now we're looking at the 135. Again, this green line, you want to sell here or lower. This should be like the highest strike price, right? Yep. When you get in stock, Chris is asking, when you get into a stock on the green trial and you're still in the trade, when you get another green trial, do you add to position? No, do not. No. I'm sorry, that was your question earlier that I answered twice. Okay, so medium term moving averages, again, trigger to get in. You guys see that? Look at that. Get in right here at the close of that candle. Going higher, elevator up. If we look at it on Momo, again, oh, what was that? December 3rd, and this was December 3rd. There we go, our double signal, Jonathan Wage. You're listening, double signal, double bullish signal, 2 different strategies giving the same signal on the same day to get in. Something to it, definitely. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Any questions real quick, and then we'll get your list for Merchant Monday. And I need to grab something to eat before we jump into the trader psychology shortly. Okay, share a dream. Shani, I will share a dream with you. I'll DM you. But it went from being like 5-word dream to big paragraph plus, where I'm envisioning, crossing the finish line, so to speak, of the goal. Yeah. Sammy has a double signal on CRSR, got wicked out today. Okay, yeah. Doesn't always work. But there's definitely something to it, because every time it pops up, it's, of course, error. So you got in here on the 7th, and then if we were to look at on Momo, yeah, you're absolutely right. In that case, it did not work. But look at this massive run that you could have jumped into. Look at that. Elevator up. Buy at the close. Okay, hit me with some ticker symbols, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'll let you run. BIIB, Amazon, PSX, NLS. What else? AYX, WBT, FUV, QDEL, NEO, Cost, JEF, never heard of that one, NEE, BABA, Fastly, Microsoft, Apple, AAPL. What else? Anything else? Penn. BABA is on the list. UAA. Under Armour. UAA. SPR. DraftKings. SPR. Ozon. I never heard of that one. OZON. Fastly, we've already touched on. M, as in Macy's. Are they still around? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm joking. Yeah. Okay. You guys want to hear one of my dreams? This is, I'll read this here to you. Okay. Can you guys see my dream list or no? I'm hoping that you say no. Are you guys able to see it? I'll read one dream from you to you. Okay, perfect. Okay, I didn't want you to see it. So, okay, this is dream number 4 on Matt's list. I see myself completing a helicopter pilot license and renting a helicopter in the most beautiful places in the world, flying my closest friends and family high above the 7 wonders of the world. I see the elevated perspective as we are all inspired to dream bigger and go for our big goals. I see my closest friends and family taken with the beauty of the scenery and appreciate this gift we call life as we build shared memories with these amazing experiences. I am so invigorated knowing I accomplished my dream. And then it has the date, December 2022. So basically 2 years from now. Yep. And I list out what's required, my fears, my limiting beliefs. So anyways, obviously this is a personal dream of mine, but you guys have amazing dreams, I'm sure. If we were to throw out some dreams in the room today, I'm sure you guys have amazing dreams. We all have things that we aspire to do that we haven't yet done in our life. But if we're able to spend our time on things that are very much intentional, if we are living our best life, if we are pushing ourselves to always become the best version of ourselves, we can do amazing things. So thank you. Yeah. Shani, that was that was one of she may have right 8. I have 8. I have 2 more that I need to add. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I will see you guys in the trader psychology class here shortly. That is in 22 minutes, 23 minutes. Until next time, don't forget to love life, live life, and trade it. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.